So,
So,
Bella in... Who put Bella
in the Wych Elm?
in the Wych Elm? So we did our first investigation not really knowing what to expect.
Yeah, we just kind of heard the story and we were like a bit intrigued by it, weren't we? And because we're quite local to the area, we were like, this deserves some more digging into.
That's it. And we didn't really expect to find much, did we? But we were quite surprised.
Yeah, we were. It was interesting. So obviously if you've watched the videos, you'll kind of already know the story about who put Bella in the Wych Elm, so we won't really go back into that. But we're kind of going to discuss our findings of our investigations we did, because we did two, didn't we? The first one I felt was a lot more active.
Yeah, it's like they weren't expecting us and it was very active.
Caught off guard. And we got a lot of like sort of confirmation evidence through on that investigation, didn't we? A lot of, because on the first investigation we did a lot in the Estes method, didn't we? We spent a lot of time doing that, the Estes method, and we had that spirit talker. And that's kind of where we were getting a lot of our confirmation through, weren't we, in regards to kind of like things that were being said in the Estes correlated with the story of Bella.
So what did we get? We got
a lot of women were coming through.
a lot of women,
but
more
predominantly two were talking, weren't they?
So the story was more centered around the one female who is supposedly called Bella. We kind of come away not necessarily thinking that her name was Bella.
No, she's not called Bella.
But what was interesting is that another female came through quite clearly, and we sort of interpreted that this was her sister.
Her sister or a very close friend who she would have seen as like a sister.
Yeah. And this female would have been pregnant.
Yes.
We also got that they weren't the only females.
No.
But they were the two
most prominent.
Yeah, and where there may have been evidence found in the physical world, such as the Bella was found in the tree.
Yeah, well, Bella was found in the tree, wasn't she? And then you came across the story.
So afterwards, I was doing a bit of digging and found a story about another female body. No, I shouldn't say that because we didn't know, did we? But another body that was found that was not as identifiable because it had been there for a long time when it was found. So obviously Bella was found within 18 months of being put there. And if this other body had been put there around the same time, it would have been a lot more decomposed because it was 2005, I think.
Yeah, they found her, so that's a long time.
But what was interesting is that when the original story broke out with Bella, she was found by 4 lads that were in the woods when they shouldn't have been. They were in their
egg hunting, weren't they?
Egg hunting. Came across the skeleton and ended up reporting it to the police. The interesting thing is that the second skeleton that was found in 2005 again was young teenage boys.
Yeah. Group of 4 or 3 again, wasn't it?
Not egg hunting this time, but again shouldn't have been in there.
Well, no, because the land's actually private.
The land is private. So it's like a bit of a time loop. Strange how that has like had that history repeating itself.
Yeah.
What is really weird though is that this time you won't find much on the internet about the second skeleton.
No.
Because it was all hushed up straight away. The police did go, and so the local newspaper, because it was local, were able to report on this, and this is the only way that I or anybody else would know about this. Other than word of mouth, people that were there at the time, that one local newspaper did report on it, but it was very quickly hushed up.
Yeah.
No more media reports. The police decided to close the case down straight away. Wasn't looked into. No further investigations. And that is the little knowledge we have on it. When the first body was found there wasn't a huge investigation on that, even though there was a lot of evidence, because she was still identifiable.
Yeah, I mean, they did try and find her using her quite unique teeth, didn't they? But nobody. No, but we did get through on the first investigation that I felt that she was Irish, and she'd come over from Ireland to work here.
Yeah, but before we move on to that, it's also important to say that again, not that not that with the first one it was hushed up, but mysteriously the police lost the body.
Yeah, the police
the body just disappeared. I mean,
yeah, no one knows where the body is.
How do you lose a skeleton?
I don't know, and especially in this day and age with all the amazing scientific advances in DNA, they could now have figured out who she was, but no, body's just gone.
Yeah,
which is a bit weird.
We did feel there were links to Ireland.
Yeah.
We
were getting a lot of stuff come through on the Estes on the first investigation about the car as well, and about car manufacturing, where we were. Rover was just up the road. Yeah. Some of the people in the original sort of story were said to have been driving a red Rover,
which we didn't find out till after when we investigated, but that correlated nicely with that evidence that we got.
Drinking came through as well.
Yeah.
That came through quite a bit, and again that correlated with the initial sort of story,
because the one story was that there was two blokes in a red Rover. They
drinking
were all drunk.
Bar.
Bella was with them. She was drunk. Mm-hmm. To teach her a lesson for her drinking, they put her in the tree.
Because you do that, don't you, in this day and age, stick people in fucking trees. But that still doesn't explain why she had a piece of rag stuffed down her throat.
Yeah.
And why a hand was chopped off.
Yeah, the hand. I mean, that was another one that was a bit... Never really got to the bottom of that.
No, I mean, some people say that it's a black magic or ritual, but it don't sit right. It don't feel right, that doesn't. No. I'm not entirely sure why they would chop her hand off.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
So, yeah, we did get a lot of activity.
We had the doll.
The doll
got knocked over, but that leads into like investigation 2. We find out more about why the doll got knocked over, don't we? Yeah. But we were nowhere near this doll at the time. It was quite 10 feet behind us. I'd been stood there for a good
and
couple
we have
of hours.
a short on YouTube that shows the doll falling over.
Yeah.
And it is important to say that doll had been stood there. There was no wind.
No.
And it had been stood there perfectly fine, very stable for 2 whole hours.
Yeah. So I noticed somebody commented on that short going, "Oh, have you never heard of gravity?" I didn't even be asked to reply because I'm like, "Well, you replied? Oh, what did you put?"
I put, "Why so serious? You seem miserable. Maybe you have a nice day."
Fair play, mate, fair play. But I was just thinking, well, yeah, I have heard of such a thing called gravity, but that doesn't explain why it tipped over. It was when it's been stood there for 2 hours. But I just thought, you know what, I'm not even going to waste my energy or my time on you. It's fine. You're entitled to your perspective, and off you go with your perspective.
Yeah, people are entitled to their own perspective, but when, you know, we put these videos out and people enjoy them, they find them entertaining, you know, stop pissing on other people's crisps.
Yeah, do not piss on my chips.
It's just like,
yeah,
what's the need?
We got quite a lot of other different evidence. I mean, at the beginning when we were kind of setting up, people were seeing wisps. We were getting a lot of auditory stuff on the first one and the second one. We were hearing children laughing, bicycle dinging. Remember the bicycle dinging, which that explains number 2.
But before so on the first one, and we will be explained better when we talk about number 2. But on the first one, before we even sort of set up camp, on the way down,
I said, "Can you hear?"
You were hearing bicycle dinging. Yeah.
No, what the fuck? We're in the middle of nowhere. There's no roads. There's no real trails. It's private land. No one goes here.
Yeah.
How am I hearing bicycle dinging?
Yeah. So that was peculiar. And at that point, I didn't hear it, did I?
No. You were kind of seeing things though. Yeah, you saw the little sort of child pop out from behind a tree, didn't you?
You'd see a child pop out from behind a tree. That was at the first one. And that was at the end of the investigation. We didn't delve much more into that.
No, because it's getting dark. We didn't have any of our lights with us and stuff, so we were like, we're going to call it a day. But that's why we came back, because we kind of were left with more answers, more questions than answers, weren't we? Because of the kind of the stuff that was coming through. And we felt that we owed it to the spirits we were talking to go back and kind of finish the story.
Yeah.
On the first one as well, there was quite a few men coming through, kind of trying to overpower the women.
Yeah. Was that the first one or the second one?
The first one, I had to get quite firm and be like, you allow them to speak.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because you were telling the men off when the doll fell over.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, and then the doll fell over.
Yeah.
Which was quite interesting.
But we also, or was it the second one? We also learnt that the doll.
That's the second one. Yeah, but we'll get into the second one now because that was kind of like the end of investigation one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the dead bell kept going off as well a lot.
Yes, and that
didn't really go off the second time.
But also, we've used that dead bell on other investigations, and it doesn't just go off.
Mm-mm. No, it's not one of them that just goes off. And it wasn't, again, by us, so there was no reason why it should be going off. It is motion activated, but we weren't by it. And that just kept going off, didn't it? Constantly, so often. I reset it as well at one point, thinking, oh, is it playing up? And the EMF detector was just constantly buzzing, wasn't it? Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere. There's no electricity wires going through there. It wasn't our equipment because we checked. Mm-hmm. It's just very weird.
So we went back.
We went back a second time. Was it a week later or 2 weeks later? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But we went back, and it's almost like this time they were expecting us. So as soon as we got there, I felt really on edge.
And me, the energy hit different, didn't it?
It wasn't as open.
It wasn't nice to begin with.
And it very much felt like whoever had been communicating with us the first time had been suppressed.
Mm. Yeah, I was constantly getting up and down and walking around because I was like, I just felt really weird. Like there was something around there.
So the dominating energy the second time seemed to be the men.
Yes.
Because we do feel that it was men, not a man.
Men.
But men that were responsible for these women. Mm-hmm. We think there was more than 2 women.
Oh yes, well we found that out later on in investigation too, didn't we?
Yeah. What
did we get, 7+?
Something like that, yeah.
7+ women
that have been hidden there.
Mm-hmm.
We also got the, because we did a lot of Ouija board work.
Yeah, because the Estes this time wasn't really playing ball, was it? We weren't really getting anything through the Estes, so we decided we'll communicate using the Ouija, which is hilarious because our Ouija board, we call it the dyslexic Ouija board because it never fucking spells anything out properly. But weirdly, this time the Ouija board starts working.
The bike noises were happening again.
The dinging, children laughing again, because we took my eldest child Cody with us and he kept hearing some kids laughing. I did at one point hear like what sounded like a conversation going on, which was weird. Yeah. That was at the beginning as well. That's when I was all antsy because I was like, who the fuck is talking?
Yeah, yeah. But then a child came through on the Ouija board.
Hugh.
Wales, connections to Wales.
And this is where the story kind of gets really interesting.
He came through and he was very active with us.
He was.
He also told us that the doll was helping him.
Yeah, and the doll was helping him to communicate through the Ouija board. And this is when we learned that there's a spirit attached to the doll who we named Bessie. She's a REM pod, but she's a porcelain doll turned into a REM pod, which now we know has a spirit attached to it called Bessie. And Bessie is the spirit, and she knocked herself over on the first investigation to get attention. I don't know what, but she was helping the child spirit use the Ouija board because in the beginning it was being dyslexic, wasn't it? And it wasn't spelling things correctly, and then all of a sudden it just started working, and it was really bizarre.
Yeah, and Bessie was definitely helping, and she can help us also going forward. Her main reason, even though she's a REM pod.
Yeah, because she's never worked as a REM pod. She's never gone off, ever.
But she's told us now that actually she's here to help us with the Ouija. Which is great. But, yeah, so we were talking to Hugh that was giving us lots of information.
Yeah.
He told us that his dad had killed him.
Yes, he'd slit his throat. Was basically what he said. He'd slit his throat.
And it's because he'd seen something that his dad didn't want him
to see. Yeah. So basically, long story short of it was Hugh's dad and I presume Hugh's mum owned an inn, a pub, some sort of thing that had lodgings in it, where women and I presume men would have stayed there, who worked at the big estate in the area, who happened to own the land. And yeah, little Hugh saw something happening with his dad and Bella.
Bella.
Well, we're not sure if it was Bella or another girl.
Yeah, one of the female workers who worked at the big house, who lived
in the inn pub thing.
In his house at the inn.
Yeah.
And he'd seen something that he shouldn't have seen. And he lost his life for that.
Yeah. He wasn't sad about it though.
He was okay, wasn't he?
He was quite happy because we asked him if he was stuck there and he said no. He was able to freely move around. His mum was around. He was quite happy. He didn't want to be moved on. He liked to be there.
Yeah.
But during this conversation on the Ouija board, we were very rudely interrupted by a different male energy, weren't we?
Yeah, and the energy changed.
The energy of the board
shifted,
and we had to very strongly tell them to do one.
Because while we were doing it and we were talking to Hugh,
it was just soft, gentle,
very soft, gentle
calm
energy, and then we felt it instant, didn't we? How and we knew it was a different spirit.
Yeah, it became quite pushy, aggressive. So we had to shut that down pretty quick and be like, absolutely not. And invited Hugh back in, but Hugh basically was explaining this is how these women ended up being in that land in the first place,
and it would explain why the police would be hushing it up because money, you know,
they were working up at the big house, and I think inappropriate things were happening from the master of the house
and the innkeeper,
and they were kind of working in cahoots to keep it quiet, which would explain why on the first investigation the second of the women that come through was pregnant.
Yeah.
And why she ended up dead.
Yeah.
Because that's not something somebody who's very rich and very well known in society wants out. Really.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a really sad story, and that's what we kind of got from that, and that truth has been suppressed for years. And there are different theories out there, and you'll be able to look those up.
And this is our assumption based on the evidence that we have obtained. We're not saying this is facts, but from the evidence we've obtained on our investigations, this is the assumption we've come to.
This is our findings.
And this is our findings, and we will happily be proven wrong. But as it stands, nobody actually understands where or why this happened, and I think our investigation may have shed a bit more light onto why it happened, because there's if I remember rightly, it was either 7 or 11 other female bodies in that space.
And I think it's important as well, because if we have got this correct, this could hopefully give closure to those women and allow them to move on, because there was a big emphasis on truth and that needing to be revealed, and that the reason that these women were still kind of haunting this area and not moving on is because for years the truth has been suppressed and actually nobody has stumbled upon what that truth is yet.
Exactly. I mean, there's got to be a reason why a cycle occurred where, again, 4 boys stumbled upon a body. There's got to be a reason why that specific patch of land technically is private, even though it backs right onto public land. It's not fenced in or anything, but it is technically private.
So it was good fun.
I absolutely loved it, and I'm not done there yet. I think we need to go back and do a nighttime investigation there.
And we can do that, can't we?
Yeah. I might have to grow some balls first.
We'll keep everybody updated.
When it starts to get dark, the energy shifts big time in there. It becomes quite unwelcoming, I find, when it starts to get dark.
Oh, and also, before we do leave it, and I don't really know how this ties in, but it's still worth saying.
Right.
We kept seeing, there's a lot of elemental energy there.
There is, but you expect that because it's ancient woodland.
But we kept seeing animals.
We did. The stags.
Saw stags that weren't there.
We saw some that were there, but then you saw one that you said you were adamant there was a stag there, and I'm like, there's absolutely nothing there, mate. I'm looking where you're looking.
Yeah. And then was there a bear?
You saw a bear.
And then what really bizarre.
And this was corroborated by my son, who was nowhere near you at the time, and also saw the same thing.
Me and Cody.
Yeah, Cody was with me, probably like 50 yards back.
I mean, at first I thought it was a kangaroo. The way it was kind of sat, but then I don't know if it was more like a hare.
Cody kind of explained it like a giant rabbit come kangaroo.
Is that how he said it? Okay. So
with red. He said it was weird because I could see red.
Yeah.
And you said the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hard to make out. It wasn't. I don't think it was an ordinary creature. It was like a cross between a kangaroo and.
It's a shapeshifter.
A rabbit.
It's an elemental shapeshifter, is what that is.
Yeah. And we don't know why they were there.
No, we don't know why they were there, but that was when the energy shifted. Yeah. So whether they were, I'm in two minds, whether they were trying to guard something or whether they were trying to shove us out to protect us.
I got a feeling of protection. I really did.
Because towards the end of the second investigation, we were getting a lot more negative things coming through on the spirit box as well. You're not safe, you need to get out of here. All that sort of jazz. So yeah, and the end, even Cody freaked out at the end and said we need to go, and he'd been absolutely fine the whole time, hadn't he?
He had, yeah. But yeah, I think that they'd come at the end to say, look, time to pack up. You've had your fun.
You've had your fun. Now go away.
Now go, because this is real.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit nervous as to what going in there at night is going to be like.
Yeah, but we will see.
But it needs to be done, because I think there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. I know obviously we were on the hunt for Bella and the Wych Elm, but I think there's more interesting entities there we could possibly bump into.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But if anybody else has got any theories,
yeah, I'd love to hear other people's theories, or if anybody else has been there,
had any experiences
there, what sort of evidence did you get?
Like we said, we're not saying we've got all the facts, but eventually, between us, we can get to the truth of this, and that is what ultimately will free these women and allow them to move on.
They weren't interested in being crossed over either. They wanted the truth to come out.
We can't go there and change the past. We can't unkill them.
No.
But truth is huge, and
truth is
what will liberate you. So.
Yeah, the truth will set you free. And I've said this before. I think a lot of spirits that are trapped here because the truth isn't out about what happened.
Yeah.
And only when the truth comes out will they be able to be free and to move on. Yeah.
But we thanked them anyway, and sent them our love.
Yeah.
And then we went, didn't we?
And then we went, but we'll definitely be back. So yeah, so that's kind of the culmination of those two visits. We're off somewhere exciting next. Won't say where, so you have to keep your eyes peeled for that one.
But we have got our own ghost investigation if people want to.
Yes, if you check out our website, we have a very limited spaces. I think there's only one space left on one,
and 3 on the other.
There's 3 spaces left on the September ghost hunt, and 1 space left on the October ghost hunt, if I'm correct. But if you go onto our website, the link is in our bio on everything. It's thespiritualgateway.co.uk, and go to the paranormal investigations. All the information about it is there, but that's looking to be a really cool investigation. Obviously we're not filming there. We might film some like little wee bits of content, but and we may go back and just hire it for ourselves. We'll see, but we'll see. This is like a public investigation, so yeah. So be quick because the spaces are really limited. But yeah, anyway, catch you next time.